Good evening, everyone. This is Jean-Paul Buscelli from Dreamscape Studios. Hi, and welcome back, everybody, from your holiday vacation. I hope it was excellent and amazing. Mine was absolutely fantastic as I went to Washington, D.C. to spend time with family, which was absolutely fortunate and fantastic on every level, especially the food and the company. And I hope that all of your vacations for whatever holiday that you celebrate was equally amazing, even better, hopefully. So, after returning from the holidays and here back in New Jersey again, I wanted to talk about something that I don't really see too much spoken about this topic on the internet. However, I feel that it is extraordinarily important and essential to moving into a more positive life direction, especially in regards to creating real reality and, of course, embracing a more positive outlook and lifestyle and influence around all those in your life and at work and in your leisure time and your family and friends and, of course, yourself. And what is this topic that I want to strike upon this evening so heartfelt? Which is why it is important to avoid complaining and gossip. I know that the second one is probably a really swift punch to the gut, maybe even both, probably both to be honest. However, I want to stress why I feel that it is integral to this new belief system, especially in regards to creating your own reality, your own lifestyle, taking responsibility for your life, and moving forward. So, a lot of people, including personal friends that I know, and of course my former self, had absolutely engaged in gossip about others and, in particular, complaining. I think that this is common, and for most people, among circles of friends in particular, or coworkers, or uh, just people hanging out, I notice a lot in public. It doesn't matter where I really go. I often hear people gossiping about others, engaging in negative talk or negative self-talk, and of course commiserating, which we all know there is no real good for coming from it. I had a couple friends who really vehemently fought back with me about this topic. Particular, I wanted to talk about the fact that they mentioned that it is, in some strange way, uh, it relieves anxiety. And, I'm not going to lie, I used to really buy into that story. Like, let me complain. I gotta complain. I just have to talk about how miserable I feel or how I don't like something about myself or work or a situation at school or a situation with friends, and I just have to talk about it. I have to, get it off my back, as they say, as is commonly said, and that there is a common association that there is some sort of relief or stress relief or relieving that boulder or relieving the pressure valve of stress, and you feel better about talking about your problems in a negative way. Well, let me tell you something. It's a lie. Okay? I'll say it one more time. It's a lie. It's not true. As a matter of fact, for me personally, I could tell you all many times when I spoke about how I felt when I felt negative, whether it be complain about the way my body feels, or the way I look, or the way somebody else looks, or any kind of problem, like complaining about it. You know what? It never makes you feel better. That whole common belief that it's going to relieve stress or make you feel better or take the weight off your back. You're just like, God, I just got to talk about it to somebody. Okay? This isn't even hitting upon the fact that you're talking about it up here in your own heart and mind, your self-talk. And we all know, I spoke about before, the power of how self-talk creates reality, whether your inner talk, the way you speak to yourself, whether it be negative and or positive, and how that helps shape and create your emotions, your emotional states, your spiritual states, and in essence how it helps manifest and create your own reality. And all I can say is that there is no benefit, zero positive benefit to talking or complaining about your problems, whether it be in your own head or to somebody else. And I'm going to tell you why. Because while you speak about something in a negative light, whether it be gossip about others, as we all know is trash talking. I shouldn't have to go and tell you how bad that is. Talking negatively about other people, talking negatively about yourself, and of course, complaining about problems. Because what do we do when we complain about problems? We, let's say it together, empower them. We do. When you complain about problems, problems become bigger than they are. You give them power, and it's not just acknowledgement. Okay, let's quell that right now. I know some people are going to say, like, oh, well, John Paul, like, I'm not really talking about my problems with other people. I'm just simply acknowledging the fact that they're there. Well, let me tell you something. It's simply acknowledging the fact that there are these problems alone. Okay, fine, you want to acknowledge them, that's fine. I was like, but how often do you really stop at acknowledgement? Let's be honest. Do you really say, like, well, I really hate X, Y, and Z, or I really don't like this, or I really hate that, or I really hate X, Y, whatever the whole gamut, the whole 9 yards, going down this list of shooting one thing down after another, and then of course, what usually follows up with it? Attacking others, exactly. So they go hand in hand. They're related. They're handmaidens to each other. Rarely do you do one without the other. And of course, let's be honest, do you really feel better? Do you feel better when you engage in negative talk like that? When you speak about your problems and you empower your problems and you exacerbate your problems and you talk about how much you dislike something, how much you hate something, how much you hurt, how much somebody else annoys you or bothers you? What does it do? It makes you stressed out. It does the complete opposite. You think that it's reducing stress, you think it makes you feel better, but it doesn't. You feel objectively worse because those problems become bigger than what they are. You give them more power, you think about them more often, and then let's be honest, if you were to really examine your life, think about the times. I mean, really, think about when you gossip about people and when you complain and whine and go into B mode about situations in your life and other people in your circle are doing the same thing and you're just clicking about, like, oh, I don't like this person, I don't like this, and I hate this, and it annoys me, and this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 and this problem, that problem. Do you get what happens in your mind? You're thinking about it, you're giving it more power, you're giving it more time, you're giving it more effort, you're giving it more influence in your life. You're giving it more influence in your life. And that translates directly into it manifesting in your life. Some people, my adversaries, and there are maybe a few, you know what I mean, or even ideologically those who are opposed to the law or to the creation of reality stems from your imagination, your emotional, spiritual states. I have to say to them is like, if you examine your own life, when you feel horrible, when you think horrible things, when you say horrible things about others, when you say horrible things about yourself to yourself with your inner self speak, and you take a look at what happens in your life and you're not happy, and what happens? It is mirroring exactly what it is that you're doing. You think and feel and empower those problems and that negativity in your life, and it just expands. But people will often say, like, no, John Paul, that's just reality. Is it reality? Yes, it is reality. The only difference is you're making it and you're empowering it and you're creating it through the power of your imaginal acts, wherever you bring in front of your mind's eye what you're seeing imaginally, what you're experiencing imaginally, what you're feeling emotionally, what you're consciously attuned to and paying attention to, and empowering the people in the company that you keep. I'm not saying cut them out. I'm not saying like you have to drop people like a bad habit. What I'm saying is that you have to shift your point of view. You have to change the way you see yourself if you want to see real change in your life. And if you keep engaging in the same thoughts and the same behaviors and the same emotional patterns, then what's going to happen? You imagine it like yarn, that you sit down like a seamstress or a seamster and you're weaving and weaving this tapestry, okay, through your thoughts and your imaginal power and your visualization power and your self-talk and the way you speak with others. What kind of tapestry are you weaving? That's right. You're weaving it. You are weaving it. You are making that. Other circumstances and other people and all these external factors, it's not them. It's you. It's you. It's you, what you're attracting, what you're thinking, what you're empowering. And all I can say is that this negative self-talk and speaking about others behind their back in a negative way, or engaging in endless complaining and ingratitude, okay, all these are powerful elements as well, and they are at work in your life, and you're giving them power. So if you want to see positive, affirming, desirable results and change in your life, you have to drop the complaints. You have to drop the gossip mongering behind people's backs. You have to drop the negative self-inner talk. It's got to go. It's not even by a degree. Got like 10%. I'm gonna stop talking trash about people at work, or maybe I shouldn't say this about them, or maybe I shouldn't put myself down in my head, or maybe I shouldn't complain every day at the, after work at the bar or hanging out with my friends. It's got to go. It's got to be completely and utterly abandoned and destroyed. You have to turn your back on it 100% because you want to have a better life. And the only way you're going to have a better life is if you create that. And you have to create it, you know how? Through your thoughts, through your emotional states, through your conscious states, by what you visualize, by what you imagine, by what you believe. And it is important to prune the vines, to weed the garden, however you want, whatever metaphor you want to put on it. But in particular, this week, I'm hitting it hard. I'm hitting it like an iron fist smashing through a weak glass window. Stop complaining, because it hurts you. It hurts every aspect of your life. It makes you a miserable person. It makes you ungrateful about anything, and definitely don't talk trash about others. And you know why. Not only just because it's negative, but because everybody is simply a reflection of you, and vice versa. So every time that you talk trash on others, guess who you're really hurting? You. Because everyone else is yourself pushed out. Because you all share in the same divine, immortal, powerful nature. And every time you hurt somebody else, you're hurting yourself. Every time you turn your back on somebody else, you're turning your back on yourself. It's very cyclical that way. So realize that. Realize that these negative inner self-talk and complaining and ingratiation or ungrateful attitude and complaining, it does nothing. There's no good to come from it. Again, zero value in complaining and trash talking. Utterly and totally abandon it. So that's my speak this for this week on Dreamscape. I really do. I love all of you. I want as many people. I want the whole world to tune in. I want the whole world to share. And the consciousness of the world and the planet all the time, every moment, day by day, moment by moment that we are here, it's changing. It's on an upswing. There's power. There is real power, and people are becoming aware of their own personal power and the power that we all share together. And I want nothing more than happiness and gratitude and beauty in the world. And if you want that, like I do, then you have to see it in yourself, because everything is yourself pushed out. We are all divine. We are all powerful. We are all here to experience this grand and beautiful episodic moment that we call life, this grand now. Enjoy it to the fullest and help everybody that you can, because we're all united in a very mysterious but also a very down-to-earth way. And I guess that's really all for this week. I love you all. Tune in. Be good to each other. Don't complain. Be grateful for what you have and where you are. And always use the power of your imagination to make the world a more beautiful place. And by default, starting with yourself, because you are beautiful. Tune in next week. Thank you. Love you all again. Be good.